It's nearly 9 o'clock at night and I'm off on another adventure. Really early tomorrow morning. Got to get a ferry from Portsmouth, and I've agreed to meet the boys at 6:30 at McDonald's. We've got 3 weeks and we're all been building up, quite excited about it. And I've got the bike all ready to go, as you can see, the Ducati again. I took this to Morocco in November last year, and it didn't miss a beat. But I've had a few problems with it since then. It's been into Ducati and they've stripped it down, and they can't find any issues. They've replaced lots of parts, but it was a starting issue. Just wouldn't start, especially when it was a bit colder. So my anxiety levels are going for the freaking roof, to be honest with you, because if that doesn't start in the morning, I really don't know what I'm going to do. So next trip, I'm meeting up with 3 guys I met in the Pyrenees last year, actually. They reached out to me and asked if I want to come and join them again, so I'm going to join up with 3 other guys, and the 4 of us are going to be venturing across Europe over to Croatia. So I've been there before. I've done Croatia, but I did the road adventure mainly, where I did a trip across Europe a few years ago. But this one really is sort of off-road orientated, so that's the goal really, is to try and do as much sort of off-roading as we can. And I'll fingers crossed I'll be keeping a diary of my trip. So see what happens in the morning.
Well, the bike was fully loaded and ready for the morning, and despite a restless night, it started up without a hitch, and I was in Portsmouth in time for breakfast. It was great to meet up with the boys again. It was nearly a year previously I accidentally met up with them in Spain while attempting the ACT Pyrenees. Well, the ferry we were on was going to take around about 5 hours to arrive in the French port, so it was a good time to catch up. From there, Chris, the organiser of this trip, had planned to do a hard day's ride southeast, stopping over for our first night in a pre-booked hotel in Reims. After riding for hours, we arrived at a fascinating old motorsport relic just outside the town of Reims, a place called Reims Zoo. It was a road circuit established in 1926 and became known to be amongst one of the fastest in its era. Its last F1 race was in 1966, and what's left of the circuit is now preserved by volunteers. Well, by this time it was getting rather late, so we headed off to our hotel where we was going to spend our first night. But let me tell you, what a night it turned out to be.
Can't be this way. No, stop. No. No. Go. I've just been woken up by my colleagues. The tracker alarm went off. All 4 motorcycles were stolen out of the hotel car park. They've cut through the fence. Professional job. 4 motorbikes, heavy motorbikes, and they proceeded to push them out down the back of the hotel. And this is where it gets ridiculous. They've actually managed to push them across this trench, and then the police were called, and amazingly the police basically caught them in the act, and they scarpered, and 3 bikes were recovered. Chris's, Glenn's and Simon's bike were recovered.
Old Si got a call from his tracking company to say his bike had been moving. He put the phone down, and then the tracking company phoned Glenn up to say his bike was moving. But we've run round the corner And the bikes were on the floor with two geezers. It turned out to be plainclothes coppers. They were very startled when we come round the corner. We've got the bikes, we're not allowed to touch them yet because they're going to be fingerprinted. But we've got the bikes, we've got all our luggage. Mine doesn't look to have any damage. I think Si's had his steering lock broke. We didn't need that after that long old ride yesterday with major roadworks.
Okay, so the police just recovered my bike. It's over there in the distance, in an alleyway, and they've recovered it. Everything is on it. All my camera equipment is on there. All my clothes. They've broken the lock, and at least 2 guys per bike must have been pushing these things. But thankfully, we have the bikes back. Duke is back, it's been recovered down this alleyway, and it starts. Steering lock's gone, but we've got the bikes back.
Well, we rode for the night and mostly for the day. It's an awful long journey, but we did travel all the way through France and into Austria, where we ended up in this lovely hotel.
Morning, boys. Guess what? The bikes are all there still. Now that's a first for us.
Excuse me, is that the complaints department?
Yes, that's me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, the bike got stolen.
Oh, I didn't steal it.
Well, you didn't organise the tour.
I didn't organise the thieves. That was an extra. You still owe me for that. Go on.
So really then, that makes you a...
Okay, so we're in the Austrian village of Fusch, die Glockenhanger, or something like that. Fusch, the Glockenstrap, I know you can see that there. This is where we are at the moment. So we've had a nice night's sleep last night in this lovely small hotel here, and complete contrast to what we had the night before, because we came off the ferry and we got to our motel in Reims in France around about 10 o'clock at night, and we got into the hotel eventually. It wasn't open, all the doors were shut. It was a right fluff to get in, and we parked our bikes. It was all secure. It had a electric gate, it had a fence all around the perimeter of the hotel, so we thought this is a really secure place. And Chris, one of the guys I'm travelling with, has been there many times before. He booked it, and that's where we ended up. So around about 2 o'clock in the morning, Simon, one of our group, come rattling at the door saying the bikes have gone, the bikes have gone. Now, as you can imagine, in our days we didn't know what the hell was happening. It was pitch black outside. We ran out and the bikes had gone. No way. Not a sound, no nothing. Simon only knew because he had a tracker on his bike which, as it's supposed to, called him to say his bike was on the move, and he looked out of his door and his bike was gone. Now that, if it wasn't for that, or if he had the bikes, the battery disconnected, or none of us had a tracker, those bikes would be gone. We'd be getting a train home now, or getting a flight home, and that'll be the end of it. But anyway, his tracker company informed him this bike was on the move, and he noticed all of our bikes were gone. So you can imagine what was going through our minds. We were absolutely beside ourselves. We were running around the hotel, and suddenly Glenn's phone also went off. He had a tracker, and his company was then calling him to say his bike's on the move. And Because of that, they popped through a map with the location of where our bikes were, which happened to be just around the corner from the hotel. So all pumped up and ready to go, we thought, okay, let's get these bastards. So we went running towards the location, eventually found it, and we found 3 bikes laid on the road in a row. Just 3 bikes. And my heart sank when I realised, I know it sounds selfish, but mine wasn't there. My Ducati wasn't there. So, as much elation there was to see the my colleagues' bikes all there on their sides. Yeah, you can imagine. It was like, well, mine's gone. But also, as we ran up towards the bikes, there was three or four guys in jeans and t-shirts who put their hands up and shouted out, "We're police, we're police, we're police," because they thought they was going to get a hammering from us, because well, they would have been. If they were anything to do with the stolen the bikes, they would have been hammered. But the police were there in plain cars. And they had been chasing these guys for 20 minutes, unknown to us, because they were on the lookout, as it turned out, for bike thieves that night. So they were patrolling the streets in a plain car. They spotted one of the guys pushing a bike across the road, and then a pursuit happened. I think they were on bikes themselves, and they chased these guys around. They didn't catch them, but when we arrived at the bikes, the police were there, and I quickly said to them that there's supposed to be a 4th bike, and they said yes, there's another one over the other side of the roundabout down an alleyway. And I thought, yes. I run over to there, and my Jeep was laying on its side down an alleyway, a dark alleyway, and I reckon another 10 feet or more, if that had gone into that alleyway, I wouldn't have seen that bike. It had been gone across the fields, gone. So long story short, we got all the bikes back, and we checked them. Yeah, okay, steering locks are shot on a couple of them, but other than that, there was really no damage, and all of our luggage was on these bikes because it was a secure car park. We left the bikes there, all our luggage, all my camera equipment was on there. We just took our Zoomos off, our phones off, and we went into the rooms and we were in a bed. Everything was on there. So if they'd stolen them bikes, we would have gone home with the clothes that was on our backs, and very much out of pocket, as you can imagine. So we didn't go to bed that night. Police said, look, we can't get any forensics off these bikes, so we got them all back, we give them our details, and then we proceeded to get back on our bikes and then just fuck off. Before it was 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30, we thought, let's go. We had a really long ride. We had to do that day anyway, so we thought, let's just go for it. It's quite a reasonably easy day today, so we're a bit more chillaxed. And but yeah, what a story. 4 bikes stolen and recovered before 2 o'clock in the morning. Good result. So on we continued. We had a good night's rest and our spirits were high, and we headed into the Austrian Alps towards the Glocknocker mountain pass. The sun was shining, the visibility was brilliant, the view spectacular, and the twisties were awesome. Leaving the previous 24 hours behind us, we were just glad that the 4 of us were back on track. What not to like? Very popular with bikes.
I love my fucking trike. I absolutely love that. When I was in Morocco, I realised how off-road capable that is. I was very tempted to bring it here.
Was that the 900?
But the 1200.
You got the big
1200 Rally
Oh, you got the 1200.
Explorer, yeah, big 30-litre tank.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
Basically like a GS Adventure.
About 150 brake, aren't they, those things?
I'm not sure, but it fucking flies in rally mode.
I took them for a test ride, and it was pretty much up there with the KTM 1290. I'll be honest with you, it was a powerful bit
It's
of
only
kit.
an 1160 engine as well.
Yeah, they bloody shift. Lovely triple engine, smooth.
Yeah. And it's got quick shifters on it and that.
Sweet. So what you got?
When you're moving on it, it doesn't even feel big and heavy so much like a GS. It got in tune with it there, and I thought, you know what, I could do the ACT on that. And then so I went, if you drop it, you'll be gutted, knowing that you've got an Africa Twin for this.
Yeah, well,
and I was
that's
like,
right.
yeah, you're right. What's the point?
Well, my mate, he dropped his. He's got a Tiger 900. He just dropped it, standing still. He just dropped it, and there was one rock in the middle of this bloody gravel path. It was about 6 inches high, and it fucking went straight at the side of the tank.
Well, through the crash bars, or he didn't have the bars
No,
on?
he didn't have any crush bars. No.
Right, but then it's his own fault.
Yeah, well, we weren't intending
I
to go
tell
off-road.
everyone, yeah, it doesn't matter. Dress it for the crash. There were a couple of £100. Why not?
Well, they had it all built out again. It look, you wouldn't see it's there, but yeah, well, you couldn't believe the bad luck he had.
I'd have just bought a new tank or feedback and put it on. Oh, yeah. Almost like a pyramid over there, isn't it? Look.
I'd say we're blessed with a fucking clear day, isn't it? Beautiful day for it.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Well done, lads. Very impressive.
I don't think this was the
Very impressive.
This wasn't the one I came
Right.
up, Chris. I haven't been up here before, mate.
You know,
No, it wasn't.
You're-
The cobble bit wasn't as long.
you're in for a treat.
Is this it?
So far we've been
Big
blessed
bike
with
has just come
fabulous weather and great visibility. I did pass through here some years back and it was just so foggy I couldn't see a thing. But thankfully Chris penciled this in as part of our route, and I was really grateful that I could revisit it and see it in its glory.
I don't know how you crashed there.
Well, I don't know if he had, has he?
Yeah, he was checking his bike over. He's obviously dropped it.
Didn't see any marks or anything. Debris, but not I don't. I tell you, it's when you go slow, that's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
At the speed, it's going around them fucking switchbacks at walking pace. What do you think of that view, Chris?
Big gorgeous.
No swearing now, okay.
Oh, I forgot, I'm not allowed to swear on yours. So.
You can't swear on mine.
You're more professional than me.
No, just a bit lazy.
I keep forgetting you're doing it as well. No one normally on my doors does film. I can say my tours. My tours is our tour. I never look at myself as the leader. I was just the bloke who sorts it out because I don't mind doing it. Maybe one day I'll make a living at it. But now, it's all just playing and learning.
Yeah, you still got hopefully a few years of heavy, yeah, mate. You can make a career.
Have you ever been to the... What's the one they do near Oxford? The Overland event?
Overlander. You've got a feeling that there was one near us in February.
Can't remember.
It's freezing cold.
Seeing my hotel. Yeah, they do. Yeah, one in February, one in July or something.
Yeah, well, the reason I know
Yeah,
that...
that's the windows. You slam shut, and say, get do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I got it. It was what I did. I went. I was down in Somerset and I met this woman. This was late autumn last year, and I was at a petrol station, and there was this lady about in her 60s with all the leathers on, got off this old BMW, and I just went over and chatted to her. I said, "I love the old bike. It's absolutely covered in stickers, and it had a map of the world on her panniers on the back." And I said, "You've done a lot of travelling?" And she sort of looked at me and smiled. She said, "Well, yeah, I've done a fair bit." I said, "Where you been?" She says, "Well, my name's..." I cannot remember her name for the life of me. She says, "My name is so-so, and I was the first woman to travel around the world on a motorbike." I thought, "What, you were?"
Oh, fuck me, what's her name?
And she did it on a BMW, right? And the BMW that was there in front of me was the same BMW. She did this back in the 80s when she was a young woman.
Yeah.
And she was quite a stunner.
I've seen her talk.
Yeah, and she does these talks, and she was at that Overlander in Oxford.
Yes.
She said, I'll see her there in February. I thought, oh, okay. Right. Hey, look at the sat nav. A lot of spaghetti on there.
Yeah.
Go on, you go in front. I'll get some of your rear. Quick,
My rear?
Of your rear, yes.
Oh. See pointing that down there. Trees.
It's funny, I've read a lot of magazines about roads in Europe. I don't think I've ever come across this one that mentioned it. Is there a name for this? It's a fucking...
Yeah, there was, when we pulled in, there was a pass. I didn't see it.
It must be a famous pass for bikers, surely.
Austria is very sort of touched to that, which is very surprising, seeing that it's very low crime and such a beautiful place, and not overly expensive.
Simon's waving his arms.
Yeah, I don't know what, but I can see tech down here.
Coming up on the screen. Bit of tech.
Yeah.
Bit of Austrian tech.
No, don't think I loaded that, so it's either Italy or Slovenia.
So, having travelled across France, done the incredible twists and passes of the Austrian Alps, we were now approaching our next country, Slovenia. Join me and the others in part 2 as we continue with our journey towards Croatia, where we finally meet the rather challenging dirt roads of the ACT route through this amazing country.
Oh, I'll be right, just give me a second.
They're coming back.